Now, I'm gonna be completely honest. I feel like with the developers, there was a big misplay to what could have been a concept added to the game to provide even further more longevity and hype for future characters if they went about doing it with the way that I'm about to kind of explain things. But before we get into that, we do have some developer notes that they have provided us from the Korean live stream. Obviously, in my previous video, I've already pre-looked at it because, of course, the Korean forum page got it a day before. But we've got all the translations now, so I'm just going to quickly go over it to see if we missed anything important. So yeah, looking into it, obviously now it's completely fully translated. So about the concept of hunters and double rate up. So the developers are aware. They've seen the comments about the two new girls with their design and that it's a double banner, of course. And of course, for the most part, it was more of a negative feedback, right? So the developers are aware of that. We believe that hunters with a fresh concept would help refresh the game's atmosphere. So that was their main reasoning, by the way, to why they did the whole 2 units, making it so that it's refreshing. I'm going to give them an idea to let them know that what I'm about to say is more refreshing than how it's being dealt right now. But anyway, but the results did not align with the expectations of our hunters. For the characters that will be introduced in the future, we will carefully prepare them to not only fit the theme of solo leveling, but also meet the standards of satisfaction that our hunters expect. Exactly, the theme. This is the one thing that I mentioned to say that these 2 girls, for me personally, it just doesn't fit solo leveling, for me personally. And it seems that, yeah, others did see that too. So yeah, the developers are aware with how we feel. We've also heard feedback from our hunters that the opening time of the announced rate up feels too close. Charlotte and Harper are twin sisters. Okay, well that kind of helps my case even furthermore. Deeply connected within the story, they share a common experience and work through the same events together, which is why we want to present their intertwined stories to you. This led to the decision to release both characters within a short time frame. If they're twin sisters, okay, right, we'll get into that. So as I mentioned in yesterday's video, Harper is going to be releasing on the 12th. Harper is the DPS character, and Charlotte is going to be releasing on the 19th, so basically a week later. Alright, Charlotte is the support, so just want to clarify that. So yeah, and obviously because of that, that's why we're getting those 50 raid up tickets and whatnot. Well, they actually also mentioned this. However, we still completely understand the remaining burden of our hunters due to the double rate up. Therefore, we will be distributing essence stones in the check-in event that will be starting from the 19th to alleviate the burden. So not only are we getting the 50 raid up tickets, but because obviously they understand that it's 2 characters, 2 banners, they're going to be catering to a essence stones login. So obviously through the essence stones, that's going to cater to more summons being available for us, and that's going to be happening when Charlotte's banners drop. So 50 rate up tickets and then even more essence stones to be gained, so that's going to be awesome. So there's another developer notice where there was just a little bit of translations for the Q&A side of things. This is what kind of confirmed everything for me. So what happened with the skill ruins and why they're all getting buffed? Basically, the new skill ruins had a bug where the damage was doing more to what it was supposed to do, and the developers just said, you know what, screw it, we're just going to keep it as it is. So I think that's kind of why like a crazy overhaul on all the skill ruins is being done, all because of a bug on the newer skill ruins, because a lot of people were using the Sonic Stream skill rune because it was doing a ton of damage, like a ridiculous amount of damage to what it was supposed to do. And so yeah, makes sense. Again, this is kind of where they spoke about the whole PvP. So there are no plans to add PvP content this year, although we know there are hunters who enjoy PvP. We will focus on single player content for the remainder of the year. So that makes complete sense. So obviously for the remainder of the year, obviously they've got things planned out which they're going to just commit to, and then come next year is when bigger and better things are going to come about, right? They have to take it up a notch. They have to take it up a step. So that is probably going to get touched upon and spoken about potentially in a 2025. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Now, coming back to my original point, to where I've spoken about how things could have been done differently and in a better way, to where rather than giving us 2 girls separately, right, causing a little bit more chaos on our end, it could have been done in a way where other games have kind of utilized having 1 unit but 2 characters, right? It's always worked out and it's always brought a lot of hype, and this could have been clearly a unique mechanic and a whole new different concept for the game, which going forward could have given the developers more options when it comes to bringing out new hunters, to be like, now we've got this door open to where we can potentially bring 2 characters in one. There's a lot that can come out from it, not just by having original characters being twins and whatnot, but maybe making it so that recycling 2 characters, but because they're in the same guild, it works. So for example, doing it so where Jincho and Gogon-hee are like a 2-in-1 type of character, right? So you're recycling them, but bringing them back into the game in a newer concept, in a newer way, of course. So I just brought up some ideas just to give you guys a bit of a look on what I mean, of course. So obviously Dokkan, they've done a ton of them, of course, where in a single character, you know, you've got your Gokus and you've got your Vegetas, you know, you've got some double units just kind of, you know, I mean, the consistency is actually kind of crazy. Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on? So you got Hit, and then you got Goku, Trunks, and Gohan, right? So you got like these double units. Back in the day when I used to play a game called Naruto Shinobi Collection, rest in peace, they introduced 2 units. So, you know, you got Kakashi and Obito as a single. I mean, again, these are 2 characters that are in one, but you can utilize them in a separate manner, of course. So you got Sakura and Sasuke, right? Minato and Naruto. So it's 2 characters having their own separate moveset, but it's in one unit. And then our recommendations from Mas talking about this one game, which I'm unaware of, but I quickly looked into it because it's as he also said, it would have been better if they made it as like a 2-in-1 unit, of course. So I managed to find the trailer, and so just to give you guys an idea, this is what should have come about, right? So to give you guys an idea, you know, we're 2 characters in one, you know, where we're using Harper. Maybe there's a skill that activates Charlotte coming in, or maybe there's a separate button for Charlotte to switch in, of course, but it's 2 characters in one, switching in and out between the 2 girls, helping one another, of course. I think this would have been the better route. Obviously, you can still have it so that they have their 2 separate skill sets, so Charlotte providing the buffs, Harper providing the attacks, of course. Everything still works in terms of time-wise, so it is doable. It's just a huge missed opportunity on the developers end. Because right now, I think the only newest piece of concept we have is transformation, and that was Amamiya, just given a bit of a tease. Because obviously, going forward with characters and whatnot, now that we know that transformation is a thing, and obviously they were already thinking about doing it, but they decided to separate it in the case of Yunho, of course. But going forward, now that we've seen Amamiya having some sort of transformation going on, we know that that's a concept that they can continue on going forward. But it is a huge missed opportunity to bring in a 2-in-1 character. I think if they went down that route, then I don't think things would have been as crazy in terms of to the response of how everyone is feeling about these next hunters coming in. I mean, I guess the appearance would still get a negative feel for it, but with how they are, I feel like things would have played out much better gameplay wise if they were 2-in-1 units, especially if the way that they're catering to being like, oh, they're twin sisters and whatnot. With how the developers are kind of explaining things with how the girls are, of course, it really does feel like that they would have been suited best being a single character, but having two characters in one, basically. So a huge missed opportunity, an absolute huge missed opportunity. That's all I'll say on that one. But hey, you live and you learn. So maybe going forward, if they ever go down this route again, this is something that they can look into. And again, this isn't just a one-time thing. This will literally open up the door for the developers to do more. And again, it could bring in a lot of hype during celebration times. They can go above and beyond and give us some crazy-ass characters in that form. So yeah, that's my piece that I will say. That is my piece that I will say.